They need to make these things like higher. Oh man, did you guys see that? Anyway, yeah. Ooh, I think now that I could put on my hoodie. You know, you're never too prepared for these situations. There we go. Perfect. Now don't move your head, Aaron. All right, so one is like a beginning, one is birth, one is infinite. So I noticed like even the start of this day I was irritated because it's weird because last night I was feeling really good. I was like, this evening is very magical. This evening feels very beautiful. And then I went to bed. I felt good about going to bed. I drank this chamomile lavender tea. Things were looking pretty good. And then I woke up at 3:33 this morning, and I was like, ah. So, yeah, I had an interesting experience I like to share with everybody, particularly because I'm driving in traffic on my way to work. So I need to stay awake. Um, so I had this dream, and if you're new to the channel, you probably don't know this, but I'm a dance teacher, and I'm a choreographer, and I perform. So that's my normal life, which is I was doing the studio dance classes and performing and doing music videos. And then when I had my awakening experience, it was like, uh-oh, there's something not right about the industry. Thank goodness I didn't, sell myself to the industry. But it was very close to where I almost got in. And, so thanks be to God. But anyways, the dream I had, I was teaching a group of people in a class. And I didn't recognize this class at all. I recognized one person out of this group of people, and I didn't recognize the facility. The facility looked brand new. So I was like, and I'm very conscious in my dream state. So a lot of times when I'm astral projected into a timeline, I'm trying to figure out if it's the past, present, past or future. And this one I could not, I couldn't see myself. Couldn't see my hands. So I didn't know if it was the future or if this was the very, very past. So, I don't know. But I was speaking to this large group of people. It was, I guess, a big event. And what happens a lot of times, especially like on Facebook, I say a lot of stuff and I give so much truth out. And the backlash of people, a lot of people don't listen. They don't really want to, ooh, you ran a red light in front of a cop. Lucky you didn't get pulled over. Yeah, so I was talking in my dream, and then I opened my eyes like, why are you talking to yourself, Aaron? So it's weird. This happens a lot. I give big speeches to people. Why is the cop behind me now? The person ran the red light. Anyways, that'd be funny if I... Never mind. Don't even speak it to existence, Aaron. Yeah, so long story short, it's just fascinating. I say things, people don't listen. But I guess that's just my life in general, But the people who do adhere to what I'm saying, they help enhance the truth. They really help carry on the message. So with that said, at 3:33 a.m., I woke up to use the bathroom, and I heard a voice, and it was a female voice. And she said, oh, I can't lift my phone, can I? There's a license plate next to me, and it has D111 on my left. This is my affirmation today. I can't show you guys. I can't touch my phone. There's a cop behind me. But Dolores Cannon channeled me this morning. The Dolores Cannon. And she gave me like a very important confirmation. Because I don't believe entities, spirits, angels, or even, God himself, the Father, the Almighty, I am that I am. They do not literally speak to you like in words. They use our own voice. They use our own sound. They use our own, interpretations. They use our physical quantum, connection to deliver us messages, deliver us words, but they're not literally talking to us. If anything's talking to you directly, you're being deceived. I don't care who it is. But Dolores Cannon, she channeled me. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, yes. Yes, I was so excited. And so she shared with me a lot about looking into Roosevelt. All I got was Roosevelt. She didn't say President Roosevelt, but I am going to look into the full thing about President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And I really don't know much about Roosevelt. I don't really know if he was like a worse-er president or a worse president. But I know Carter is the one that I just, We got into a horrible state of politics because of President Carter. And we wouldn't be in Afghanistan if it weren't for him. Question is, what was he trying to pursue? Moving on. She said Roosevelt, and what I had resoned with was the words Roosevelt. And I also had the words JFK in my head. And it was very distinct. It said John F. Kennedy. Not Jr., it said John F. Kennedy. Because something didn't transpire with John F. Kennedy Jr. He was supposed to make a speech about something. And this is just what I was given, was Jr. didn't have the courage, the other word for courage, didn't have the courage to say, a lot of people have issues exposing things, and a lot of people have issues whistleblowing. It's like, well, but if that's the world you took into account, and that's the life you chose, and you want to keep everything to yourself, you don't want to blackmail people, you don't want to blackball people, you don't want to whistleblow, but that's the accountability that and Dolores was kind of revealing to me that if the people like you and I, and if all this media and all this discrepancy is caused, it's really the karma of these people who run the show. And they shouldn't be running the show. The powers that think they be is what we call it. Me and Kalika. Powers that shouldn't be. They think because we are co-creators that we can burn off their karma, which is why they implement these, discrepancies through media. Like the latest one is The Little Mermaid. No one really verbally said, no, I don't think there was a big issue other than a tweet by someone saying low box office sales because it's a black mermaid, not a white mermaid. And I think because of that tweet or whoever said that, it stirred the whole pot, as though there's racists out there who don't want a black Little Mermaid Ariel. And it's like, no one actually said, I actually caught on to it. No one implanted, basically we stirred our own pot because we assumed that there was racism involved. I say we because I was part of it. And I assume that I'm guilty of it. It's just the topic. Like people, I caught on to it because people were arguing on Facebook about how can anyone be racist and blah, 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 blah. It'd be cool to have a black, this, and that. I'm like, but this is how we allowed Obama to reign on our parade. And this is how we got tricked and deceived because we're like, cool, he's a black president. Yay, our first black president. Cool. You know, and then even on my birthday in 2008, when he got sworn into office, I cried. I was so happy. I was so proud of Black America. But I didn't realize I was supporting someone who was a false. Anyway, moving on. That's the cool thing about being a channeler or an empath is you just know. You can look at someone in the face. You can try to read someone's heart and just know that person ain't legit. Anyways, but no one in politics is. I think the only reason why Trump, according to the truth community, gets a hall pass is because there's a benevolent presence behind him. It may not be guiding him. It may not be him. But there's something around that you can't not knock down. Like, there's something very interesting about why, like, some of us don't have a big problem. We're seeing a lot of these things in the dark come to surface because this one person isn't sitting down in a chair. I mean, you give power to the source, but really it's the power of the resonance that people forget. And I think that's what Dolores really wanted me to share with everybody, was that we are getting off track and we're so close to, like, you know, the whipping on the cake, as she would kind of resonate with me. There's also a video. I want to put that in my description box. Actually, I'm going to put it in the comment section because YouTube has a dyslexia about saving description box content in the description box area. So look in my comment section. I pinned the comment of Dolores Cannon's video. It's the only one that kept popping up because I really didn't know what to look for, and I kept trying to meditate on what to look at. But she really wanted to get out there that everybody's following the wrong direction. And it's not like saying, well, I know the only direction, but people have been saying higher self wrong this whole time. There's only one higher self. I actually knew this. Well, a couple weeks ago, I caught on to it. In this interview that she is in, she talks about the higher self. The higher self is only one source. It is one entity. And that is where we all pull our resonance from. It's one entity, one higher self. And there's people get it wrong. They think that, like, we're in these matrix chairs on a ship somewhere outside of Earth, and that's our higher self communicating with us. And that's wrong. It's false. We see Merkabas in the sky, or we assume we see, like, the starships in the sky. Those are also not our higher selves. They're all different layers and levels. And what I was shared also was that there are 3 layers of this higher self, like a sandwich. You have your bread, your meat, and your lettuce. So there's pieces that lead up to the higher self. And you notice how she says in the interview, she says the higher self. And also, too, she never wants to inflict religion on people, so she would never say God, you know. But she does relate to him or it, whatever you resonate with. She does give, like, an array of different explanations of, you know, the Father, the Creator, she gives a different. She never wants to push. She really wants everybody to feel that they've already been a part of this party, and there is no invitation. You just show up. There's another part of something she said. She said, I think she said divine source. And that confirms what I've been saying this whole time, that it is divine source from the get-go. Everything starts with divine source and comes down to earth. And then when you have 9th dimension to 12th dimension, or dimension or density, it's the same thing. 9 to 12 is on a higher place. So we can't communicate higher than 9. That's on the astral, it's on the spiritual, it's on the Holy Spirit, it's on a Trinity. There's another cop car on my right. Getting a lot of affirmations today. There was one thing, I don't want to lose my train of thought. Oh, about JFK. What JFK, I think, was channeling me was for me to look at the observation of allegedly, the flying saucers. And the flying saucers were associated with mankind trying to experiment zero gravity. They're trying to find what zero gravity is and replica zero gravity. They've been trying to do time travel through flying saucers. They've been trying to create the Ezekiel's wheel through the flying saucers. So there are no green Martian men in the flying saucers. Debunk. There have always been beings here on this earth this whole time. How things work in terms of the other beings, if you may, other than us who are human, born of another human body. They've already been here because they were part of the future and they had technology to go back to edit. And that's pretty much it. The past gave hieroglyphs for the future to know how to use. We're just in the middle of the conversation. I've said this too before. About us evolving as human beings, there's artificial intelligence and this and that. The big head, green, grays, and all that stuff, those are future humans like us, future beings like us. But what happens is, I don't know if you guys seen that movie, Time Machine. It kind of just gives it away how when humans go underground, they apply and adapt to underground. Their bodies start to adapt to the atmosphere, environment, and the conditions of their habitat. It is what it is. But when they had access to technology like that, such as to travel backwards and edit, so on and so forth. So that's that in a nutshell. When you have the starships and the light ships and the light codes and whatnot, that's all higher self broken into different fragments that is trying to reflect codes to us to help us evolve so that we don't become that species, that race, or evolve into those conditions, because that's a very dark, morbid, sad, and I guess whatever happened, whatever nuclear thing happened, it changed the human physical condition. It changed the way that humans look. So the gray and the green is really from an offset of what happened. What's interesting is I had a theory, and I had never shared this with anyone on my channel yet because it just is too much information. But what I concur is, allegedly, when you had the Big Bang Theory as a theory, I actually believe the Big Bang Theory. I believe, what are you doing, sir? You were on a scooter and you're about to get ran over. Big Bang Theory, I think, is what they say. Well, those who are evolutionists, in the process of evolution and the dinosaur theory. Okay, let's just say there was a Big Bang Theory, but it didn't happen in the past. Big Bang Theory happened in the future. It happened, let's say 100 years from right now. There was a third world war, and Big Bang Theory started. And so, to cover it up, you say, oh, it happened in the past, and that's how everything began. But let's say the origins of how everything began was the past. So you have a convoluted, storyline of how the future and the past got split. And now here we are in the middle of the split. If that makes any sense at all. Oh my God. That's a lot. That's a lot of information. It's a theory that I've been trying to figure out. I need to write a book. Actually, no, I don't. Because then those people come after, excuse me, channeling hiccups. So I'm yet to figure out all this JFK, Dolores Cannon, Roosevelt stuff. But that's just what came to me this morning, and I couldn't hold it in. I had to share with everybody that the Dolores Cannon gave me a visitation this morning. She was just telling me, be careful of the deceivers, be careful of deception. There's a lot of us who are in the right, but there's many, many, many of the thousands in the wrong. And she says the easiest way to identify people in the wrong is you watch their hands. Watch their hands, watch their eyes. This is what I said yesterday. And no one should be trying to tell you how things are, because in this video she talks about how she did hypnosis on several different people, and hypnosis on several different people, she was able to collect information, and it was just so many different segments of information that, it's not just one thing. And a lot of people, they stick on one topic all the time. So that's why I appreciate a couple of you. I watch your channels, and you'll get I'll put your names on blast. Yay. You'll get H3 3D TV. Hey Donnie, what up? He evaluates the sky. Boring Calling. He evaluates the gematria codes and how it applies to today. Suspicious Observers channel, they'll say, hey, there was no solar or sun activity when the California earthquakes happened. Earthquakes come from sun activity. So if it didn't come from the sun, what caused the earthquakes? That was my I love you, Carmela, and she basically gives messages from the heart. She and I both, we don't want to do all the technology and the fancy stuff. We'll just draw it on paper. And there's validation in that. Kimmy, you're awesome because you're able to take what your experiences were and you share it in the comment section. Same as Ma Pizza. I don't know your real name, Ma. But Ma has the same gift as Kimmy. You guys should exchange dialogue with each other. And then May Britt, she just kind of puts the voice back into integrity, or puts the integrity back into the voice. It goes both ways. She sings very beautifully. She puts out vibration from her heart. Hey, May, that's your second heart chakra you're singing from, by the way. It's actually, let's see. Here's my Adam's apple, right? So my throat chakra will be the thymus gland, which is all here. This big old, I don't know, what is that? All of this you see here, it looks like a upside down triangle, no pun intended. And then my heart chakra would be right here in the center of my thorax. So your second heart, if you guys can do this, next time you guys meditate, instead of going to your heart, which is, you guys can't see, left, your breastbone, right? Your heart's below. Your vagus nerve is right above that. That gives life from your second heart chakra through your vagus nerve, and then you have your second heart. And also, I think Dolores really schooled me on why many of us on that metaphysical level have anxiety and panic attacks and are constantly nervous. Because you have two hearts going on at one time. Two energetic hearts, that is. I don't know about the organic part of it, but I know that through our DNA changes and ascension process, I wouldn't be surprised if some of us grew extra glands or nodes or, you know what I mean? You never know. You never know. You never know. Yeah, that just educate you guys. The thymus gland is this big old piece that you see right here. And your second heart chakra would be somewhere between here and here. And everyone has it. And thanks to the Vatican for hiding that from everybody. They've been calling it Sacred Heart. Like hiding it in plain sight. And that's what they do, is they take things that are true, but they like diffuse it. It's like, you know, when we had the California fires last year, we had what was called the Holy Fire. And I was mad because I'm like, the Holy Fire is like one of the most, you know, sacred events that ever occurs. And it usually occurs once a year or once every few years. But that's a very special thing. And how dare they label a stupid human caused fire after something that's very sacred, you know, and very spiritual, something very organic and intimate in terms of a metaphysical experience. It's when that metaphysical, non-physical crosses into the consciousness. This is what Dolores would say. So check out what she says in the comment section. I put her video. And thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day. And just keep your positive thoughts this way, because I am in California, and I am in the epicenter of Los Angeles County. And actually, I'll show you guys before I go. So you see like those dark mountains in the foreground? That's Northridge. That is Northridge. So, and that's the ocean. So, yeah. Oh, did I tell everybody that too? Damn, this is a long video. But this will be very quick. So Sunday I was doing the channeling about the earthquake, and I was giving my 2 cents on. Be still. I was giving my 2 cents on a video I watched, and how it was about. It was really related to the different celestial entities that were helping bomb and get rid of the things on the underground. That was one aspect of it, which was trying to move them out of a certain area. They're not defeated, but the other aspect of it is it was actually freeing imprisoned people. It was actually a way to open up areas where these prisoners can be, where they could be fleed. Not prisoners, hostages. Because if you had, I don't know who, and I don't know what, but I know the whole story was a cover-up, and the only way to cover it up was just, keep the news on and brainwash everybody to think, yeah, this was a natural earthquake. And so it was a good lie, but they're getting close to disclosure, because there's just too much going on where they can't just keep lying. And every time they put the symbology of whatever it is that those people do, the elites and the cabal and the Zionists, what they do is they do all these stupid symbols to tell their allies or tell their friends and besties, don't believe this story because there's something beneath the surface. So can we all just have disclosure? Come on. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. I made it to my destination. I'm going to meditate. And I'm grounded. I like to get grounded from a nice yawn. All right, everyone, take care.